Alright, today we're going to be uploading images using Paperclip to our app and storing those images on an AWS bucket. This is just simply using like a little shop kind of bare bones structure. There's a user and like a normal user and admin. If we just click on admin, password, currently creating items is just like this. You can create an item with a name and a price. You can create it. That'll show up. There's an index of items and users. You can delete them, and there's a storefront where you can add items to your cart and so on. Super bare bones, kind of like a blank slate, so you should be able to incorporate this to any project. First thing you're going to want to do is go to AWS and sign up. They do need a credit card, but you get a year free, and as long as you're not using like over 20,000 GET requests, they're not going to charge you. So if you're okay with doing that, we can proceed. So once you're done signing up, you're going to want to go down here, click on S3, and we're going to be creating a new bucket. There's some conventions when you create these buckets. I've already created one that I'll be using called Little Shop Bucket, but you'd simply go here to create a bucket. It's my understanding you don't want to use caps or underscores. From what I've read, it can harm encryption, but I'm not really sure if that's true or not. However, I've listened. Once you create this, you're going to want to pick US standard. I've had a lot of issues using Oregon and Northern California in the US. US standard seems to just work. So once you do that and you create the bucket, you can go to your security credentials. Here you can click on access keys. There's going to be a button where it says generate new secret access key or something like that. You're going to click on that. It's going to download a CSV file for you, and that'll be containing your access key and your secret access key, which you'll need for your program to kind of communicate with your bucket. We're going to be needing a couple gems. So if we go to our gem file, I already have them. You're going to have Figaro, you're going to need Paperclip, and AWS SDK less than 2.0. There's a lot of tutorials online which use 2.3. That wasn't working for me. You can try that. If it doesn't, you might be able to use this. A lot of Stack Overflow answers kind of say the same thing, and my program started to work, so that might be what you need. Once you bundle install all of this, you're going to want to do something. Actually, before we do all of this, you're going to need to brew install ImageMagick. So if we do brew install ImageMagick, this will let us kind of resize images later on. So we will be needing this. I've already done this. Let's bundle as well. All right, cool. So I'm on the same page. With Figaro, so Figaro enables us to kind of access our environment variables throughout the program in a special file, a hidden file. The alternative would be to, as you know, like export whatever the secret or whatever the variable is, usually like in all caps, so it would be like Amazon something equals whatever the key is. That's kind of tedious, and you have to do that anytime you close this window down. So let's just go ahead and use Figaro. You're going to need to do Figaro install. I've already done that. Once you do that, it's going to create two files for you. One is a hidden YAML file here. And within this, you'd place all your environment variables. So we have an AWS key ID, you'd place whatever the key is. The secret access key, that's your bucket name. As you've seen previously, I named it Little Shop Bucket. The region, that's going to kind of come up later. We did pick US standard. However, it's probably going to blow up at some point, and it'll like in like the local host, it'll tell you what your region needs to be. In this case, mine was US East 1. Once you have that, it should work. But you're going to have all that here. I already have it kind of set up down here. This is just for show. You're also going to want to make sure that this got added to your gitignore file. That's another thing when you do Figaro install, it does add it to your gitignore. So let's just double check on that. We see that it is here, so we are good to go. There's a really great tutorial online that you can kind of follow along with. Uploading files to S3 and Ruby with Paperclip. If you just Google Heroku uploading files to S3 and Ruby with Paperclip, you'll find this. So if you ever need to look back or look a little more in depth, you can always use this. But there's some things where it's a little dated and I wanted to go more into, so hence this tutorial. So we have all these things. We're going to want to copy this, and this is saying to go in your production environment. You will need this if you're going to be using this on Heroku. I'm just simply going to do this on a local host, so I'm going to put this on in my development file. Copy and paste in here. And if you're wondering where we had all these variables, where we got them from, where we put them there, it would be from here. So once you have this here, we're going to want to, so like when you do have this on production, you're also going to want to put all of your keys and all your secret keys and whatnot on that Heroku dashboard, and then also have this in production. All right, so to add these attributes to that table, I'm going to copy and paste this. In my case, I have items in a shop. I want these items to have images, so let's go to my item class. We have has attached file, avatar, styles. When we brew install ImageMagick, that enables us to resize photos here. This could be anything. You could have one called large with like a 600 by 600. The greater than sign is giving me a capital X. The greater than sign denotes that it will be proportional. The hash will be like a hard 200 by 200, hence the name square, but that's all that is. And we can use this, we will use this later, and you'll see how that comes into play. This is just named avatar. We can name this anything. In my case, I'm going to call this item image. And this will just simply reference that attribute once we update the table, which we will do in just a sec. We're going to add this, just validating the attachment type. And I believe this is just some regex for showing that a .jpeg or .png or .gif would work. We're going to change this like previously from avatar to item image. So that's going to work. We're going to need to add this as an attribute to this model. So let's go ahead and add a new migration. So Rails G migration, add item image to items. Let's go ahead and check that this looks good. Cool. We're going to add this with a marker of add attachment. Yeah, I believe so. But we can double check. Yeah, cool. Add attachment. And we're going to add that to our items table, and we're going to call it item image. Once we have this, let's go and migrate. Cool, looks good. However, let's check the schema, make sure it's all working. Yeah, so when we do all that, it's going to add all of these attributes, and it's looking good. So the next thing, well, so previously, if we look here, also, this might break now. Well, it doesn't. It might break for you, and that's just because you'll need to close down your server and fire it up again. And if you are getting trouble right now, this should fix it. And that was just because of the new gems that we added. So if we go here and we create an item, we can create these items, but we're going to need to somehow add an image. So if we go to that new form for items, which will be under admin, we're just going to add some new fields. Have a label for item image, and we're going to do a attachment, file attachment. Let's check. File field, that's what it is. So it's going to be a file field, and we'll do item image. And with Rails now, as we're adding in new attributes, we'll have to update our strong params. So if we go to the controller for items, we're going to want to let in that new attribute called item image. So now if we were to refresh that page, we should see an option to choose this file. So let's go ahead and create a new item. Let's call it item 1, $1,337. Let's pick a file. Pick this one. Should be a big one. Let's go ahead and create this item. All right, sweet. So currently there'll be no way to actually see that photo, so we're just gonna have to update that view and enable it to actually access that photo. We're gonna head over, let's just put it on the main site index. So if we just go to items index here, as this is an index page, so as we're iterating through every item, if we do an image tag, and on that new item call item image, it should show up now. So let's go to the main. Sweet. It shows up. We have this item. We can add it to cart. However, it's quite large. And this is where the image magic comes into play. So if we go back over, and as you recall with item, we have thumb, square, medium, and large. Let's do medium, 300 by 300 proportional, and see what that looks like. How we add that will be over here. Just simply call medium. Now if we refresh, we have a medium image. So that is how you add attachments and whatnot. One cool thing, so we're adding images, and a lot of times when people are using Paperclip, it seems they're mostly focused on adding images. However, if we do go to this item, and let's say you wanted to, if you're selling movies, or if you're selling PDFs, or any other sort of file, this doesn't just work with photos. You can do has attached file, call it file, and then if you simply added a new, if we go back to the dashboard and create an item, create a new field here where you can upload that item as well, which would be a new file, that will attach it to that item. And all you have to do is add attached file here, and then of course add that in a new migration, and then that's something, and then you can just kind of upload anything to that item. So that's how that works. Awesome. Thank you.